We have a beautiful full moon in Taurus. It is extremely stabilizing. It's the first full moon in Taurus we've had for several years, with Uranus no longer shaking up things, where this fixed earth sign, exalted moon, loves stability. Good news is this is also connected to a beautiful Decan in the sign of Taurus, the second Decan. It relates to the Six of Pentacles, the card of financial charity or financial success after times of difficulty. And so there's something about this for all of us. It could open up those doors as well. It may also bode well for some more stabilization around economic news. You know, the other thing I'm going to do in this video, just a touch of world astrology to start off, is talk about Joe Biden and King Charles. Both of them are very much activated by this moon and an asteroid that involves the word funerals. And so we're going to see what's going on with either of those two characters in the sky, as well as some scandals regarding Joe Biden. Both King Charles and Joe Biden are under a lot of health challenges, and they have very similar placements in the sky that have led to this condition. Prostate cancer for Joe Biden that's quite aggressive. And I think it's also the same kind of cancer for King Charles. Both of these men are in the crosshairs of this lunation. And as solar figures, as leaders, this is not your story. They face a potential of a passing away, coming off the completing full moon in Taurus. And maybe within a week or two around that time, we may see some news about these characters in our story. Welcome to my channel if you're new. And my name is Lori Lothian. We're using the whole sign house system full stop. We love that. We never go anywhere else. There's always whole sign houses. It's the once you go whole sign, you never go back. But on top of that, we're also talking about traditional astrology. And we're going to be bringing some timing tools to bear on your sky. How can you use this full moon, which brings a fulfillment and a completion and a sort of harvest energy, to something you've been trying to accomplish in the sign of Taurus for the last 6 months. There are some beautiful energies in the sky. There's a beautiful support structure from Jupiter, and Jupiter exalted in Cancer. And this is one of the least difficult moons I've seen in a long, long time. There are no hard aspects the moon is making to other planets. And the Lord of the lunation, Venus, is in her home kingdom in the sign of Libra. So we see good things coming. I'm going to be drawing a card on the all signs portion, just from the wisdom oracle in the prosperity section, as well as of course the astrology, because that Six of Pentacles is that act of charity by the universe that supports you where you've been struggling in a lack of abundance in some area of your life. Quite often it's financial, but it could be like a paucity of something on the material plane. And this will be the card to help us delineate that, in addition, of course, to the astrology in the all signs portion. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And the other thing I might tell you is that my 2020, if you want to time your best life in 2026, I'm in the middle of recording my 2026 individual videos for each sign. This is my yearly fundraiser to buy microphones, laptops, hire some support staff. The money goes right back into the business. This year, I'm opening up a scholarship fund for people to have readings with me or take my courses that may not have enough money. So we're going to use that money for the business only. This is not for my wardrobe. And so the fundraising is beginning now. I started it on mid-October, October 22nd, maybe, and it goes through till December the 1st. And on December 1st, if you pre-order at the $44 price for the All Signs bundle, I'm only pre-selling the bundle. You'll have 12 signs, 2 to 2.5 hours per video, PDF guidebook by me for you in your inbox on December the 1st. After that, you can still purchase it, but the price will go to the regular price of $66. So thanks for listening to the little sales pitch. Let's get rolling. And, you know, one of the things I really love about this moon is that it's so stabilizing. You know, quite often we end up with these, you know, energetic lunations, new and full, new and full, new and full since 2018 with Uranus, the great disruptor. In the Great Awakener, sure, but like unexpected, shocking, surprising energy with the very, you know, beautiful moon in her exaltation sign of superpowers. And this is a moon that's very close to the Earth, by the way. It's a super moon. So we have a super, it's the closest one of the year, a super full moon. We had one last month, this month, and next month, but this one's, I believe, the closest. It's going to look huge in the sky. It's going to have no hardships from Uranus, who's busy next door at 0 degrees of Gemini, ignoring the whole show. They'll have Jupiter around 25 degrees of Cancer in a beautiful flowing loving relationship to this lunation, like looking right at it. And of course, Jupiter's in the sign of Cancer. That's the temple of the moon. It's her home territory. In that regard, that's also positive because Jupiter will try to please the moon as we would try to please anybody in whose home we were a house guest. So I can't say enough about what I like this moon, but when it comes to world leaders, Vladimir Putin, Joe Biden, King Charles they have a lot of Scorpio placements, sun, and rising sign for Putin. And it's possible that they're going to have some hardships coming up off this lunation. And it may not just be on the day of the moon. Don't always think that things on the day of the moon are everything, right? A new moon and a full moon, new moons, and then 6 months later, the full moon take months to fully unfold, but usually within 3 or 4 days before the moon and up to 2 weeks after the moon, we see evidence for what it is for. And there is a funeral. There is someone passing. We've got Libitina and Memoria, funeral asteroids activated. Some of you know that I called that whole thing with the Pope's death about a week and a bit before that he was likely to be passing. That was based on use of these minor asteroids. If you want to become an asteroid junkie, take my free asteroids course. It's in my description box below, how to find the minor asteroids in your chart. So we're going to get started. And I'm going to show you the sky. We're going to take our cue from what the heavens are showing us. A lot of you know that I let the world astrology go on my channel. I'm getting so many emails, phone calls, and texts to bring it back because I'm writing about world astrology over at the Pluto Chronicles on Substack, where you can get weekly information about what's going on in your inbox from me for free. That is all about Lori Unplugged. I have to be really careful here what I say when it comes to world events, and particularly about the Middle East and stuff. And it can get very gnarly on the algorithm. But I think that King Charles and Biden are safe to talk about without getting punished. So also, I'm going to show you the sky, but I would be remiss if I didn't share my latest joy. Isn't that amazing? Oh, that's me writing notes to what I need to do on my wrist. This is a beautiful little trio from, I love the colors, from Lunatic, Otter Spirit, triple grade A, all natural beads. This is all their stuff that I'm wearing. I always wear it. And if you want to check them out, go to their website. They are amazing. And I just share them because they give me free jewelry. That's all. And I love it. And so I always share it with you guys. This is orange aventurine that I'm wearing here. And they give you these little cards and these little boxes with felt pouches. This is a mini bead trio that's smaller than the big ones that I often have. And orange aventurine, and you get 20% off with my code below, Lunatic Astrology 20 or Lunatic 20 or Lunatic 30 gives you 30% off if you buy more than $99. So I love how they give you these ideas of what it's about, right? So you can really vibe out. There's astrological trios. So Orange Aventurine is helping me embrace joy and limitless possibilities. And prosperity is its intention. And it's really good for Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpios. And it's the sacral chakra. Whereas the leopard skin on my wrist is I stay strong through life changes, and I like that it gives me strength, and it's good for Scorpio, Aries, Cap, and Virgo. I'm an Aries and an Aquarius, and it's the root and heart chakra. And finally, the other really weird one is Unakite. One of these beads says Unakite. What an interesting name. And the intention is for healing, and it's great for Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, and it's the heart chakra. So all said and done, if you're interested in this kind of jewelry, which I am because it grounds me, because I need to be grounded, I'm an air sign and Aquarius rising, you'll probably love this stuff. All right, so we're going to move on and we're going to show you the sky. And if my phone rings in the middle of talking to you and I stop the recording, I do apologize. It's an important call of all things with my bank. And I have to laugh that this is going to be a 6 of Pentacles, second Decan, exalted moon, which can bring charitable luck and prosperity our way. And in fact, in Teach Me Tarot, which is a great website that talks all about the meaning of tarot cards, they actually have a really nice write-up about this particular story. And the second Decan of the second 10 degrees of the sign of Taurus, by the way, if your birthday is May 1st to 10th, then your sun is there. It's also ruled by the moon. And secondary triplicity ruler is Mercury, but the main ruler is the moon, which gives it an extra power, right? An extra potency as well, because it's the moon's own zone of the sky in terms of the decans, each 10 degrees of a sign. But they actually talk about that this energy of the 6 of Pentacles in Teach Me Tarot is really lovely. It basically says, is a strong traditional associated meaning with charity or patronage after experiencing difficulties or finding yourself in a bind. Usually financially, someone or something has stepped in to help out. So I think a lot of people are worried about ourselves in a time of economic downturn for the average person, not the stock investors, obviously. But we want to keep that in mind, that this has something very, very beautiful to offer us. My hand is up, but that's nothing I can fix, so just ignore it. It happens to be a problem with the software, Tahoma software on my Mac and Zoom from the latest upgrade, and there is no fix yet. So trust me, I've checked it out. All right, so we're going to talk about the sky. I'm going to show you the sky. Then we're going to do your sign. All right, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, please. My numbers are really low in the month of October. I don't know why for subscribers. It's lower for everything, views, watch time. So please, even if you're not going to watch the whole video, would you just run it in the background? Just run it in the background while and don't even listen to me, and then the watch time will increase. Just a favor, guys. This is my main livelihood. If it doesn't sustain me, it won't sustain anything here. So I need it to continue to be a profitable, joyful endeavor. All right, let's take a look at the sky and let's talk astrology. Now, yes, I know you see my messy desktop yet again as a new feature of the lack of meshing of the MacBook Pro Tahoma software with the upgrade operating system with Zoom. They haven't fixed it yet, but we'll work with what we've got. So here we have the sky, and you'll see that I'm back in May of 2024. I'm not going to keep us there, but there is a reason, okay? So I'm going to share that with you now. I was doing a lunar shadows technique, and I want to bring up some patterns I'm seeing with Joe Biden, and very likely it also applies to King Charles. All right, so let me go back to the actual moon, because I moved us away from it. If you don't mind, I'll get us right there on the 5th of November. And the moon is at 13 degrees of Taurus. So let's get us back by the right time. I think I'll probably be here to get us to 13 degrees, I should say. There's that moon. It's close enough, okay? So it's 13 degrees and 20 odd minutes, but we're going to feel like around 5 a.m. Pacific time, the moon is full. Did I say new full? The moon is full. The moon is full in the sign of Taurus at 13 degrees. And this is, again, as I said, it's a very positive moon. Why do we have all that midheaven stuff in there? Because I want to show you the chart of King Charles in a minute. Now, and energetically speaking, you can see right away that the moon is not in any hard aspects, which would be red lines. The moon, in fact, is completely not damaged by squares or oppositions, except to the sun, of course, but that's what a full moon is. It reflects the light of the sun. It's exalted at 13 degrees of Taurus, and it's flowing in a whole sign way to Jupiter, which counts. And Jupiter in the moon's kingdom is attempting to support the moon and do its bidding. So we're going to find positive things happening across the way. This is I'm talking about the sky. My bank calls me. Oh my God. Sorry about that loud noise. It was crazy. Very loud phone. All right, so back to you guys. All right, so look. This is the sky. We love the sky. It looks good to me. What don't I like about it? Nothing. And I'm going to simplify the story for you just a little bit. Yes, on the side, we have a Uranus, Mars, Mercury story that can be a little bit gnarly. Okay, I'm not going to pretend it's not there. That's something else that's going on in the world that's offside of the moon, right? This could be like Iran and the Israel thing, shocking disclosure, shocking events. Iran is a rising sign in 17 degrees. Oh, it's 17 degrees of Sag or Leo. My brain just went offline on Iran. Just ignore that then, because I don't want to pay attention to this story right now. What I want to pay attention to, my story that I really want to focus on, is I want to focus on the fact that this is also a moon that's flowing to the north node and flowing to the south node. And that's also auspicious and very, very positive. I just don't like the distraction. So let's take out Uranus, let's take out Mars, let's take out Mercury. Let's keep it a little more simple for our eyeballs. And this is a story. This is more like what we're going to notice here. So at the time of the 13 degree moon, It is in a sextile to the north node, and it is in a trine to the south node. Both of those are positive conditions. And if you are looking a little bit more closely, you'll notice that that also activates the formation of a little bit of a mystic rectangle right here. Now, while I can annotate and make it darker for you, mystic rectangles bind the tension of opposites in the sky to try to create something positive. And it looks like an envelope, all right? And it also brings harmony and reconciliation and flow to very difficult oppositional energies, new moon, full moon, south node, north node. So it takes polarity and binds it into something good. I always think of it as lemonade from lemons, you know? And in this regard, that's a positive sky as well. So between the mystic rectangle formed by the oppositions between the south and north node and the sun and the moon, and the fact that the moon is being supported by Jupiter in her kingdom, and that the nodes of fate are complicit in positive and flowing ways to something fruitful and positive in your Taurus sky, but of course also in your Jupiter area of the sky where Jupiter sits, we're going to delineate that for your sign. Now what I'm going to talk about is Joe Biden at all. Everybody, this is a story that looks to me like there is a possibility of maybe a death coming off of this sky. So clear all of a famous world leader type person. The sun representing somebody of leadership quality or celebrity, but someone of leaderfulness. And if we go like this, and I put the asteroids Libitina, and the asteroid Memoria, you'll see exactly what I'm pointing at. We have some other asteroids I'll be putting in, but I want you to see the basic one first. This is Memoria, like a memorial service. This is Libitina, which represents funeral rites. Libitina is perfectly conjunct Venus, and the Venus Libitina funeral rites rules the moon. So someone who got a Taurus placement or a Scorpio placement are activated for a funeral or a death. And by the way, you know, Joe Biden has his moon in Taurus, and so does, I believe memory serves me, we'll get to it in a minute, King Charles. And then we'll notice that as well, that the sun is conjunct the memorial service asteroid, and the moon is reflecting that. Then we see those Taurus and Scorpio characters, such as Joe Biden and King Charles, and maybe Vladimir Putin for his Scorpio rising, not for sure, becoming very entrained with stories of death and funerals. Only one concern is there a female seeking justice who could be in harm's way? And the only person I can think of is Candace Owens. Her dear friend Charlie was assassinated. Let's not go there. I don't care what your opinion is. I'm just talking astrology. And we end up with a situation where Charlie has his son and where Netanyahu has his son. Okay, Charlie, Netanyahu, and Kamala Harris all have their son in these later parts of Libra. And so we also may see, other than Candace Owens maybe being in harm's way just because she's a female seeking justice, we also could have problems in harm's way, funerals, death energies around Netanyahu, around Kamala Harris. These are two people with Libra suns, but so it's a separate story or not a separate story. Now, it doesn't mean Kamala Harris is in physically harm's way. Maybe someone in her life is going to pass and it'll be a big news story, for example, and she's present at a funeral. All right, so those are some of those stories. What about the other asteroids involved? Well, I took some notes because I found that Ornamenta, Hercules, and Lachesis, and Orcus, and Elatus are also worth looking into. Shall we add them together and watch them pop up on our screen? Lachesis is like, you know, the spinners of fate. That, you know, this is not the one that cuts. Lachesis pulls the thread. So it's a process of fate unspooling or unfurling. When we look at Hercules, you know, I saw it pop up, but I can't navigate away from you. I got to go to Hercules next, just so I get it down. I hope I'm sharing. Yeah, I am sharing, right? Hercules, you're not looking at my dead screen. Hercules, I'll get to that in a minute. What am I sharing? I am, oh, you can even see this is interesting. You can even see me picking them out. This is great. My software never did that before, but that was because I was sharing a window, a feature I've lost already. Okay, so let's just break away for a minute and talk about this. Hercules is like the labors of. Now, I don't know if you know, he murdered his family and he had to do 12 labors to make up for the bad deeds, but he had a strike of insanity. but it's where we're laboring to achieve something over time and then the reward was, he became deified as a god by Zeus. So in order to claim the power of our true nature, we have to labor for it. And in order to be forgiven in life, we need to labor for it. Well, that's a story, right? By works, not faith, by faith, not works, ye are saved, by whatever. The labors of the human mortal coil to be forgiven for our sins, but also to be rewarded for our hard work. So Hercules is sitting on the North Node. There is something about financial prosperity in Taurus at 13 degrees in the second decan. And the North Node brings worldly success. And Saturn says perseverance and discipline. Neptune says dreams come true, but it requires our labor. We must apply ourselves diligently and heroically to the success that we are seeking in our world. And we'll draw your attention to that when I get to your sign. On the South Node is Lachesis, who draws the thread of our fate, our mortal fate. So she's pulling that thread. She's not snipping it. That would be like, oh, we're going to snip. No, but it's the thread of our destiny, the thread of our mortal coil that is unfolding. Now we have also Orcus, the god of the underworld, Elatus, and Ornamenta. And then we're going to go ahead and talk about those, Joe Biden and Ornamenta. Please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I have re-added this world astrology because people asked me to. And so please then like, subscribe, and share if this is your cup of tea. I got so much feedback in the comments or in my emails that you wanted it here too. Although I will say over at the Pluto Chronicles, I can be unplugged. I don't have to, pretend with code words what I'm saying, okay? And I can be honest about my feelings about the astrology of the world as well, because it's my place where no one can punish me for talking my version of truth. And did we get everyone in there? Ornamenta, Lachesis, Elatus. Oh, did I put Elatus? I think we got everybody. Orcus, Elatus, yeah. And finally, the last bit of the story we might want to pay attention to or not is you're going to see that over here. No, where did it go? Up here on the South Node, yes, we talked about the spinner, the thread of our destiny, but we'll look at the pile up over here, you guys. This is ornamental, like ornaments on a Christmas tree, but it's regalia. It's ornaments. It's like the crown. It's like the cape. It's like the scepter. So again, this makes me think of King Charles. And over here, we have the Orcus, the god of wealth, and also the punisher of broken oaths. So because this is also in a complementary flow to the moon, and that also has a leader and a memorial service. A wealthy, ornamental, maybe fated ending for a person of great power. And when I think of ornamenta, I do think of somebody well ornamented, and I do think of a king more than I think, say, of Joe Biden. And I don't know what I put this one up here for, Elatus. Echolas, I knew I didn't want that one. I drew the wrong one in. I'm like, what the hell is Echolas doing there? I meant to hit Elatus. Elatus was killed by Hercules. So we have the whole cast and character in here. Gee. Elatus. So see how we got an arrow here, like a bow and arrow? So Elatus, Hercules threw an arrow at Elatus and it didn't kill him. Later on, he got killed by Hercules. But the key is that Elatus is with the sun and Memoria, and it's about death by arrow, except that the arrow passed through Elatus and then it struck Chiron, the healer, the wounded healer behind him. There's Chiron. So there's two parts to that story, but if you just take it literally, there is like a bow and arrow aiming at a solar figure. Again, King Charles is a Scorpio Sun, 22. Biden is maybe 27, 6 Scorpio. And Putin has an ascendant in Scorpio, but we don't know his exact time of birth, so we can't use him as accurately. And, the arrow could be anything. The sun represents the heart, right? Vitality, the heart, a heart attack, for example. And there's just themes you have to see in the sky and ask yourselves, what are they for? Let's bring King Charles into the mix. I'm going to put his chart up by itself for you to see, and then I'll put the transits over. Let me just save let me save that. Let's put King Charles in, just so you see him as a standalone chart. All right, so King Charles this is him. Just like Biden, they both have their moon at 0 degrees or 1 degree of the Taurus. And it was a lot of energy going on that moon with an eclipse in the fall of 2023 that I predicted Biden would fall ill and not, for some reason, not run the full race through to the presidency, which was accurate. But I also mentioned King Charles' health, and he became known for his health challenges in the wake of that eclipse in the fall of October of 2023. So he's undergoing health treatments for cancer. I think it's prostate, like Joe Biden. And as you see, that's underway from that old eclipse way back when. We still know that unfolded something, that it became activated, correct? So we still see that going on at this time. Now, one thing about this particular story is that the son of King Charles is with Chiron for illness, and it can connect to something to do with the activation right now of the full moon, because the sun is at 30 degrees with Memoria and is close enough to count to King Charles' fourth house, where the south node of loss and surrender is. And King Charles also happens to be, for the record, moving into his age of 77. And the age of 77 will connect him, all right, let me add some, will connect him to the house of sickness and what we call profection ages. Let's add all of his pieces now. And in that regard, he may become quite ill. His birthday is on November 14th. And in the wake of the moon, we might hear some news about his health. He went through that whole thing with his brother, the sibling 2 younger than him, and going through the scandal regarding Nobody's Girl and revelations that he was one of the people in the sex trafficked world of Virginia Giuffre. And in this regard, this is what this was about. His sibling 2 younger, Prince Andrew, yeah, is this part of the chart. The 5th house is a sibling 2 younger, and it is ruled by Jupiter. This is a Sag, and there's his sibling. That is Prince Andrew at 29 degrees. He now has relinquished his Duke of York title. He's let it go because of the scandal. Mars is, of course, sexual energy. And as King Charles went through his 5th house profection age, he was preoccupied with his brother's scandals in the house of sexuality, and also the sibling 2 younger, and pretty well asked him to step away from his royal title. So that's behind King Charles. Now he's moving into the 6th house. That's the house of sickness. Okay, and there we see Memoria when he was born, and also Elatus. So something could strike him or fell him into greater illness, is my prediction, not only at the age of 77, but also coming off this lunation as well. Now, there's something called, and this applies to Joe Biden, who also has like a 26 or so Scorpio and a 0 moon, but that's this part of the chart, both the moon in Taurus for Biden and the sun in Scorpio, all of the very same reasons I given for King Charles. He's under the potential for an illness of some sort, escalating to even the state where we're in a funeral or memorial service. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you is there's a technique called the lunar shadows technique, and I ran it on this full moon. It takes us back to February of 2025 and early May, late April, early May of 2024. And I was thinking of Joe Biden, because this cycle every 9.5 months or so of the lunar shadow takes us back to stories that happened for Joe Biden. And they have to do with his health, for one thing, particularly his cognitive health, because it would have been back in June of 2024 that there was a presidential debate, and everybody noticed that Joe's mind wasn't there, right? Anyone who had eyes to see, unless you were doing the emperor's new clothes and you were pretending that everything was well, everyone noticed it wasn't. And if you think about that, it was literally, sorry, I should give you the date. It was May of 2024's new moon in Taurus that seeded the June revelation that his health cognitively was impaired. Then we moved to February of 2025. There was a moon at 19 Taurus. And that first quarter moon seeded Donald Trump initiating an investigation into the cognitive health of Joe Biden in connection to executive orders and particularly pardons that Joe Biden had enacted, which has led us to, as I record this, October 28th, on the cusp of the Taurus full moon, the disclosure of the Republican Party senators or congresspeople's investigation into Joe Biden's pardons and questions about what is called the auto pen, where Joe didn't have to sign it. Therefore, did anyone else sign it when he pardoned like 30 people the day before the inauguration of Trump? And the question goes deeper. Did he actually, he used a lot of auto pen for things he signed off as a president. And the question that people are asking is who was in charge? Was he just, because anyone could click, like, you know how you do an auto sign on a PDF and you just click a button and it signs it? Today we can do that, right? Well, it's the same idea. So at this point, auto sign, auto pen is a big scandal that came out around now, October 26th, 7th, 8th. I think it came out today, the 28th. It doesn't surprise me because the cycle of, you know, May, June of 24, the presidential debate, and then the February lunation in Taurus, 19 degrees or so, and then, you know, in the days and weeks that followed, Trump was like, we got to do an investigation. Was Joe all there? And then the auto pen thing really ramped up by the time we got to May of 2025. The auto pen investigation became a really big deal. And so you can see not only is Joe Biden under physical duress, and he's maybe, but it does keep recapitulating the question of his cognitive health rather than his biological survival. But still, health is health, cognitive or physical, and he has some kind of aggressive prostate cancer that spread to his bones. So I'll finally finish up Joe Biden, King Charles, more health announcements with Memoria, potentially a funeral for someone, with Libitina on Venus, which is on Netanyahu and Kamala Harris's son. More stories about them to do with like funerals and death. Maybe someone in their life is dying. And I'm not sure they are going to die. You know, that's the thing. I'm not sure about that. I'm sitting with something. Netanyahu's a Sag rising and he's got a Libra sun. Let me just check something. Remember. Yeah, so of course he's got a Libra moon. He's like Charlie Kirk. They both had Libra sun and moon, Netanyahu and Kirk, by the way. So that was interesting. But no, it's Israel I'm thinking of. Israel's sun is somewhere like Taurus. I think it's 21 or 23. So even though it's not that close to the 13th degree, the nation of Israel's sun represents its leader. Okay, so there's something with the leader of Israel that could be in trouble. All right, I should have just made something up. You see, I'll get like some kind of algorithmic suppression for saying the name of that nation. So I got a channel sometimes. Some people have code names like IHOP or Philadelphia. You know, that's why I'm always at peril here on those world events, because I get flagged by the algorithm saying, is she saying something controversial that advertisers won't like, will demonetize you or suppress your content. All right, so let's go ahead and do your sign. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to check out amazing Otter spirit jewelry. I introduced it at the beginning for 20% off or 30% off, depends on how much you want to buy. Codes are below for me, my followers. Don't forget to buy my 2026 individual all signs bundle. They will be sold as individual videos in December, but honestly, for 44 bucks, each individual sign is 33, and for 44 bucks you're going to end up getting every sign. Share with friends, family, stocking stuffers. It's a PDF download with links to the private videos, etc. So it's an easy stocking stuffer or email gift to send to somebody for Christmas. And you have a sun, moon, and rising. Many of you have different sun, moon, and rising placements. You can listen for all three. So it's an affordable purchase. It really, really is. I put a lot of love into it. So go check it out below. I'd love to have you purchase that and help me raise money for the equipment and the staff and the scholarship fund that I'm creating for my business. Thank you guys. And let's get going and do your sign. Don't forget, your sun is your eternal nature. It's your vitality. It's your true soul and your spirit as it embodies into the character and the simulation and plays the role of your avatar in the game of life. And the avatar is your rising sign. It's not your soul. It's not your true self. It's a moment of embodiment in that first breath. On the eastern horizon, there's a sign, and that lines up to your rising sign. So think about it as like slipping into your meat suit and taking on the character. But the character matters. You're not one or the other. We're embodied. The moon can represent how you feel and think about your life, kind of like your emotional mental complex, but it also can represent matters of home and home related domicile, where you live, and residences as just as much as the sun can represent matters connected specifically to one's career, one's ability to lead, be a leader, one's ability to have a purpose in life. Let's go ahead. Let's start with Aries. We're going to roll through, hopefully not too long. And let me know if you want the world astrology back. In the comments, let me know. Do you want the world astrology back? If you do, go heck yes, world astrology. I really didn't want to, I took it out for 6 weeks. But if it works for you, and I'm very circumspect by what I cover so I don't get suppressed, say heck yeah if you want the world astrology back. Okay, so I know I'm feeding the right beast here. And you guys always don't like world astrology. The ones you hate it, you can go ahead and jump to your sign. You know that, right? You don't have to do the world astrology. All right, let's get rolling on each separate sign. Wouldn't you know it? I forgot to plug my microphone in. So the whole intro is going to have weird, maybe tinny, hopefully not too loud, too like inhibited sound. I do apologize. It's almost like, is that a sign for me that maybe I should like not do the all signs? Heck yeah. Or is that just me not checking my microphone and making sure it was plugged in? These are the questions we ask ourselves in astrology. All right, so we're going to start off with Aries, obviously, and we're going to move through the sky, and we're going to hopefully get through this in the next less than an hour. I do love drawing the card draws. If you like that kind of thing, let me know. But if you don't, let me know as well. As I said, I pulled the World Astrology about a month ago after the Kirk assassination, so somewhere mid-September onward. And I ended up finding that my numbers may be going down because of it. I'm not sure if it's that or just YouTube. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Keep it or not. And if you do like this kind of content, please share it with friends and family so the channel can continue to thrive. So I would appreciate that, honestly, and liking and subscribing and all that. All right, Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries rising sign. The thing you need to notice about the sky is that you've got this energetic, excuse all the asteroids, they're making a hot mess, but I'm not going to take them out. It's just more time that I don't have. Time is of the essence. So it is relative to world events. Aries, the full lunation is happening in your natal Taurus house of money, resources, and earnings. It is, as I said, on the charitable financial hardship comes to an end, or something abundant shows up after a time of contraction in the house of money, earnings, and resources. So that fits with me. My ad revenue, my watch time, everything is way the fuck down in the month of October. It's enough that I had planned to hire somebody on staff, and I can't do it until I get the revenue stream stabilized. But I will say that it is charitable, and the universe is charitable. So wherever this kind of financial goodness wants to arise in the life of a particularly, it would be very accurate for Aries sun for career profitability, moon for home related profits from the sale of a home or something, or profits from what you do in the home. Aries rising, profits, period, profits, end of story, money, resources, finances are looking good for you. This full moon is exalted, and it's got a Jupiter hookup in the 4th house. This could be definitely prosperity from something you're doing in the home, prosperity from a mom or dad or someone in the family of origin coming to help you, money coming from a property sale or things like that. So there's a real sweet spot with Jupiter supporting the resources and earnings. This could also lead for some of you to the purchase of a new car or the acquisition of a new car, a possession that is going to be very easy and profitable and really like comes to your way. Like, for example, I'm in a lottery draw for the local hospital, and one of the prizes is a car. I think it's before Christmas. Wouldn't that be funny? I'll let you know if I win a car. You know, what the hell, you know? The other energy is you're lucky, right? Jupiter brings luck, but the luck is coming from inside the 4th house where you spend time alone, your private life. You're conjuring the luck in your own downtime, in your own home life downtime energetically. And that's really a beautiful thing to do. And partly the nodes of fate suggest like they're involved in the sky in what we call a mystic rectangle. The nodes of fate, and it's in the introduction, the nodes of fate are here to say a lot of this prosperity and wealth is on a karmic axis, 6 and 12. And it's like your karmic deeds are coming home to roost. Your karmic service and you've paid off your debts are roosting and rewarding you in a full light of something new in your finances, in your earnings, in your resources. And potentially as you leave behind one way of working, one way of creating money, South Node in the 6th house, work and service, you might find yourself opening a door to something new, but it's even more profitable. Well, this moon is occurring on November the 5th. It could take up to, full, 6 months to see the whole story unfold. Now, energetically, the last thing I want to say about the sky here is that you might consider a major dietary change. The moon is shining a light on the food style. And at the end of April, around April 27th, so to say the end of April, there was a new moon at 7 degrees. So we had a new beginning there, and especially good for reducing harmful eating habits like addictions or self-undoing through food style or intoxicants and stuff like that. And the full moon is really opening a door through a big light to complete a cycle of attending to one's health, 6th house, Virgo, connected to self-undoing, 12th house, North Node, and letting it go. Saturn gives you the discipline. Neptune gives you the discipline around addictions and escapism. I can't even watch a Netflix show right now. I have been unable to get engaged in escapist activities. And this is more of that in fulfilling itself. So if you know you've got an escapist habit or addiction where you want to run away from reality, which is very much a 12th house feature because you're looking for your isolation chamber, but it can also be like Netflix binging, endless romance novel reading, escaping to bad food habits, good mac and cheese now and then, but not every day, correct? All right, so let's go ahead. Let's draw a card for you. And the card we're going to draw is from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. I like this card section because it does have a section dedicated completely to, 100% to prosperity. And because this moon is in your 2nd house, which is earnings and money and resources and speech, it's going to be a useful part of the card section to pull that card for you today. I want to see, what does Colette Baron-Reid want to tell you about the gracious gratitude that you'll have when the universe gives you a charitable uplift in your abundance? And by the way, if you win the lottery, let me know. I want to hear back. Milk and honey. Well, that is the land of milk and honey. With the rainbow. There's a rainbow in the sky right now as I record. It's the asteroid Iris this week. It's going to be very exact, squaring Mercury and Uranus on Wednesday. And it's the golden rainbow, right? So this is an interesting time. 51. I'm recording on October 28th. Milk and honey. I think milk and honey is going to talk about some kind of abundance because I do think that it represents this place of sweet nectar of goodness, right? Milk and honey. I don't like milk. I don't mind cream now and then, but I'm not a milk drinker. But it's kind of funny, milk and honey. Milk and honey. Essential meanings: a taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, and trusting that your true needs will be met. And in the prosperity section, it reads as, there's only one authentic you. This version of yourself and is your spirit's emissary in the world. Aries, when you are in alignment with the truth that you are a unique expression of the divine, your ego can rest and your soul can illuminate your purpose. This will be very true for Aries Sun. I'm Aries Sun. Now is the time when you seek your true north. When you find this direction, you're automatically stepping into prosperity and the world brings you evidence of abundance. Miracles are a choice and a way of seeing the world. With every choice you make right now, you have the potential to seize good fortune and embrace your destiny. Opportunities will lead you to your best life now. Be open to them, Aries. You are getting a sweet taste of what you want. This is a beautiful moon. I love this moon. Let me know in the comments how that feels for you. And let me know, come back and tell me, how does this full moon November 5th at least 2 weeks show you evidence that it's trying to give you this gracious milk and honey? Let's go ahead and do the next sign. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing what you Tauruses are going to get today on our grand abundance storylines that we seem to be percolating through. Let's talk about you guys. I know I can't fix that, guys. You have to see my messy screen top now because whatever they've done in fixing my annotation on Zoom, they've now screwed the window share feature up. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about November's 5th. It's on the 5th, by the way. The moon's on the 5th. I know it says but if I move ahead by a day, it's going to go past it. So trust me, it's at 13 degrees on November the 5th. And we're going to move into the sign of Taurus. Taurus is, exalted moon, 13 degrees of your sign, November the 5th, add 6 months, what's unfolding. You planted a seed back in the end of April of this year about a new beginning and a fresh start. It could be about job, work, career, home, relationship, love, your children, relationships to relationship. It could be anything.
And that new beginning seed was planted at 7 Taurus. And it really now we have the fruiting of a new beginning as it comes into a culminating, a fullness, maybe a completion cycle over the next 6 months. The good news, it's got that charitable 6 of Pentacles card in the Decan. The balancing act is here. Of course, if any of you have your sun moon position, your sun actually, you're born May 1 to 10th, then you're going to have your sun right in the thick of this Decan and really feel the energy of that, really be attached or connected to that energy. But for the most part, what I want to say is that it's such a charitable sky. It is offering up something that the universe is like saving the day for you in an area where you want to feel a prosperity or an abundance energy. With Jupiter flowing from the 3rd house, it could be an abundance connected to, the richness of your local environment, your friends and your neighbors in your neighborhood. And with Venus, the lunation lord in your 6th house, for some of you, a change of home connected to a new rental property that feels luscious, exalted, Jupiter, new neighborhood, Venus and dignity. You're going to really like that. So some of you in the next 6 months will change your location of residence in a very, especially the lunations, the Taurus moon, but all of you guys, Taurus sun, moon, and rising, will definitely be seeing a potential shift in either the enjoyment and the prosperity and abundance connected to property, land, and real estate moves, residential shifts of neighborhood, especially regarding the word rentals. If you are an online person and you make money online, or even if you have a brick and mortar business, Jupiter's trying to bring you some luck down there. And he is indeed flowing to the sun in the 7th house, which would be legal contractual agreements. And so if any of you are trying to sign a contract connected to property, like a business property, virtual or real, there's some auspicious developments that bring fruitfulness and prosperity to you here. And having this moon in a beautiful flow to the nodes of fate increases your windfalls, luck, and pennies from heaven, or your worldly success in specific measure from the career profits itself, from the active career and the gains of that career looking like they're going to increase for you. That's for sure. There may be a possibility of dating somebody new if you're a Taurus who's single, and bringing in a really profound past life soul connection through dating. And I'm not going to share all the reasons why I say this. It has to do with Venus in the dating house and the South Node in the romance house. And that looks like really lovely as well. It also opens up some flow and ease with friends and with your own children as well. But single Tauruses, you might come into a new love story off of this kind of sky. We're going to also say one more thing about it. Having this 13-degree lunation in the sign of you, right, which is so beautiful, it really does invigorate the entirety of that 11th house of good spirit, which is full of karmic rewards and windfalls and pennies from heaven. But it is the north node of fate there that makes it so powerful. So there's some kind of volume up or increase in your career profitability, success, rewards, and gains coming at you over the 6 months ahead. You can have raises, promotions, new levels of salary or income from work for professional activities, especially with Venus as well in the house of professional work and service job endeavors. Let's draw a card for you and see what the prosperity angle and the 6 of Pentacles looks like for you in terms of this Decan and this exalted moon bearing no heart, all that glitters. It matches my outfit, all that glitters. Well, I kind of know the meaning of this card. 16, it's like you can't chase the paper, right? There's more to life than money, Taurus. Now, you guys love your sensuality. You love your worldly delights. You love your earthly desires and pleasures. That's very Taurian energy, right? It's literally the very real world that we live in terms of like touch earth and knock on wood and chop water and go for a swim. So let's take a look at the 16th card of all that glitters. And at the prosperity message in particular. And here we go. It will say to you, as a general meeting, it's a need to see beyond the superficial and not chasing after every sparkling new thing and being neutral. But in the prosperity section, it will say, prosperity message, sometimes an opportunity looks so good, it glitters like gold and you can't resist it, especially when especially when it appears others are doing so well and have hit the mother lode. And during the American gold rush, everyone hurried to find their true fortune and then deserted the entire towns when the mining depleted the gold veins in the earth. So you too can deplete yourself, Taurus, if you chase after the latest shiny thing that has caught your eye. There is a mercurial quality to your present circumstance. It's funny because Mercury is the triplicity lord of that Decan. Okay, there's a material quality to your present circumstances. Pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold. Resist temptations to be jealous of others and their successes. What they've achieved may not be true success, not the one that you seek, right? So don't compare yourself to them. You see only surface energy right now, only the sparkle. So be assured that you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. All the glitters may not be gold for you. So I think that the energy of that card is very much about, Venus is not witnessing the moon, but she's in her dignity in the 6th house. And that's a house of service. And in a house of service, she will want you to prosper by having balanced, harmonious Libra service in the world and doing things that that are bringing something good to the world. Okay. Rather than just like making money. I could never work for a company myself like that I knew was causing harm. Like I could never work for Raytheon, you know what I mean? A weapons manufacturer or something. So you're going to be tasked and asked to go a little deeper here in your values, especially, which are being ratcheted up. Your values, Uranus will be here for 7 years, transforming your values. If you always valued like money or stability or wealth just for its own sake, I don't think that's going to stay true for you guys. But with Uranus here over the next 6 years, 7 years, you're going to end up getting some rags to riches. But you have to focus on the true parts of your values in order for that to be true. All right, we're going to talk about Gemini. I have a progressed sun. I totally get you guys. Your progressions are not as important as your natal sky, but they matter a little bit. And we have the moon big and bright in the house of solitude, spiritual awakening and enlightenment, money derived from distant shores, foreign lands, and people in commercial activity. Possibly also a yearning to complete or end a cycle of addiction or self-undoing. And the moon here is full after we planted a seed in all of these potential activities back at the end of April of this year. Now we have fulfillment and completion. It is the next step. I think that with Jupiter supporting the moon from the house of what you put in your mouth, what we put through our orifices here, you're going to find that you can definitely see a nice blossoming of balance. The 6 of Pentacles is balanced energy, right? In between, two people, money and the beggar and the scales and the money. So it's like a vibe, and I think you're going to find that maybe you're hitting the watermark of some ease or balance in subduing your cravings to eat the things or smoke the things or ingest the things you shouldn't be doing. And that's beautiful for that. And finally, we also see Jupiter just in a money house. He's trying to exalt your finances. Sure, he's going to head retrograde on November 11th. Stay tuned for that video. That just deepens your bounty. We're going to see this energy playing out where you're going to keep expanding prosperity-wise until next summer, until July. And now this moon is showing you how. Something to do with creative artistic projects done from home, like writing a book, getting a creative project underway, any kind of creative projects. They take a long time. You need to be alone to do them. Venus is in your house of creativity, the muse, and all entrepreneurial stuff. This can be very, very fruitful. The alone time is a good thing for you. You might see that it fruits you into financial wellness. Spiritual liberation from the matrix, from the dream. Jupiter can represent teacher or guru that speaks. And maybe I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle on steroids. And so you might be listening to a spiritual wisdom teaching or teacher a lot because there's a Jupiter in the house of speech. And this could also open up doors of spiritual liberation in the months ahead, 2 weeks ahead, 6 months ahead, take your pick. Finally, there's a lot of flow to the nodes of fate. The nodes of fate are indicating career prosperity and worldly success. Watch out for the costs, like burdening you with burnout and exhaustion, Saturn. And the South Node is suggesting a relocation. A lot of Geminis may move. South Node can relocate you to a new place to live. And there's a possibility, therefore, that with the South Node trine to the moon, it will be to a distant shore or far off place from where you currently live. So it could be the other side of the country, the other side of the state. or another country, but it will not be like the next door neighbor's house that you're going to move to. So it's more of a distant relocation, and that would be something that you would feel destined and fated about, and you would feel good about it as well. So let's go ahead and draw a card from the old Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Focus on the prosperity story due to the 6 of Pentacles, second Decan, exalted moon with no hard aspects. Yes, at 13 degrees of Taurus on November 5th. No, you can't make this up. You know, what are the odds that I draw milk and honey twice? This has already been drawn already. I think it was Aries. So, you know, it's the land of milk and honey. It's about prosperity. It is wonderful. I almost wanted to say go back and listen to Aries, but just to be of courtesy to you and have no one complain about me, I will give you a quick rundown of it again, right? Is a prosperity card. The land of milk and honey, it's not to be tinkered with. It's a yummy place to go. And it means a taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting your needs will be met. And it is, there's only one authentic you, and this version of yourself is your spiritual emissary in the world. So when you're in alignment with truth, that you're a unique expression of the divine, your ego can rest and your soul can illuminate your purpose. Now is a time when you're seeking your true north. My first son is doing that. When you find this direction, you automatically step into prosperity. The world brings you evidence of abundance. Miracles are a choice and a way of seeing the world. With every choice you make, dear fellow Geminis, right now, you have the potential to seize good fortune, embrace your destiny. Opportunities will indeed lead you to your best life now. Be open to them. You are getting a sweet taste of what you want when 2 weeks after the moon on November 5th and up to 6 months further on as it unfolds over time. Come on. Really? All righty. And then we move to you Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Well, first of all, lay low, relax, chill. Jupiter will support you to be lucky through till next July. Yes, there'll be some setbacks now and then, but he gives you what you need, not what you want. He is the quintessential Rolling Stones song. Just know that Jupiter is able to witness the moon from the temple of the moon and support something fantastic happening in your career gains, particularly. The prosperity of the career belongs to the 11th house. Friendships belong here, social circles, long-term wishes and dreams, things to do with actual windfalls, like getting a windfall, a pennies from heaven moment in time. This is a prosperity energy, the 6 of Pentacles after a time of difficulty. A sibling, one older than you, belongs to the 11th house and therefore could be a provider of some significant financial up level or luck, or a friend, ally, or benefactor may also do the very same thing. And also some of the wishes and dreams for your life could begin to fulfill themselves. You planted a new moon here back at the end of April. This is like yearning for the dream of my 2-year plan, my 5-year plan, what you want to see happen in the long run in your life. And this is a really beautiful full moon under no duress and no erratic energies of Uranus like we've had for 7 years. And one thing about it is it flows to the North Node, and you could end up with some golden opportunities to travel to far off distant shores and lands. That's even fortified by surprises from Uranus and the 12. And you might also get some beautiful academic opportunities coming your way, or some really glorious opportunities for publishing and book publishing deals. And maybe these are 9th house things, and some worldly success and good stories happening in our energy of third marriages. If you're looking for your third long-term committed love partner, like a spouse, this is a good energy for you. And you might find yourself falling into a new relationship, maybe with a foreigner or just somebody that's fated or destined. And with Saturn up there, of a significant difference in age, maybe 6 or 7 years above or below your age. And then the South Node tells us you are letting go and releasing something. It looks like a neighborhood. This could often indicate a change of home because you're no longer wanting to live in that city or that town or that area of where you are. And so there could be that kind of shift coming off of this as well. And the moon is also really witnessing this in a positive way, destined shift of where you live, more travel abroad, new relationship, book publishing opportunities, letting go of one way of marketing, selling, writing, and communicating, opening up to a new opportunity. Substack publishing maybe would be sort of third, ninth axis. You also could look at the idea too, finally, to like sum it up here, that the moon is reflecting the sunlight from your fifth house Scorpio, where you might also be kind of looking at that romantic energy. I'm going to say, I wouldn't be surprised then that some of you don't have a new energy if you're single around sexual and romantic love in the 6 months at least that follows this moon. Okay, and we're going to draw our attention next to the fact that you might also be receiving a benefit that feels like a win of some sort. Venus is in the fourth house. It could be a real estate win. You know what I mean? Like ka-ching, I can't believe my luck, connected to home and property, land, and real estate. All right, let's go ahead and let's bring our attention next to what the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed offers you in this abundance and prosperity energy of this moon in Taurus. It is an interesting card. It's the here and now. And it's card number 32, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So you're the first one to get something that's, I'm wondering what it's going to tell us based on this thing. Jupiter is your ally right now. So you're every 12 years, you get his superior luck, but not since 1894 does he give you the luck. Well, he tries to book publishing, travel, foreign lands, dharma, purpose and meaning, and academic success, North Node. So they've got a lot of rarity going on in the sky. 1894, goodness gracious, 32. And the message for you is, can I get this done in time to get to my next appointment? 32. Being fully present in the moment and living one day at a time. And so then don't listen to my astrology. What you are working on is golden, and your efforts will leave a powerful legacy. Focus not on meeting a goal in life as a far off fortunate dream, but on creating your dream now, releasing your desire for the outcome, which is kind of karma yoga. Do it for its own intrinsic joy, and owning that it already exists. It will appear in the material world as if by magic. Claim your prosperity now. The essence, well, the wish fulfillment house is where this is happening, but make a wish and let it go. Don't keep wishing it, right? You order the, spaghetti on the menu. You don't keep asking over and over again for the same thing. You wait till it arrives and you know it's coming, right? Because there's no way the chef ain't going to chef up your spaghetti. So it's like, treat their mindset around manifestation a bit like I made the order and I'm done. Don't keep wishing over and over again. Claim your prosperity now. The essence is more important than the form. When you are immersed in a prosperous thoughts, you are automatically in tune to a sense of timelessness and unlimited potential. You can act as if, in spite of the temporary outer conditions of your life, you are prosperous at this moment. Now, be commonsensical. Don't like spend all your money because you're acting prosperous, but buy yourself that one object that's a little outside of your budget. Like I did the other day, I bought myself a blue cashmere scarf. It was not really right for my budget at this time, but I trusted that impulse was to say, I can afford this. It's a mindset trick. You are prosperous at this moment. What you think now becomes your reality. Stay present. All right, moving on to the next. Don't mind this kind of content where I'm blending world astrology again with the all signs stuff. Whether you like it or don't like it, let me know in the comments, but also please like, subscribe, share with other people. It does help the channel grow. The channel is having, like many other YouTube channels, by the way, not just me. I'm talking with other astrologers in my community. We're all going through a really weird time in the last month. I don't know if they jigged the algorithm. Maybe they're trying to get rid of the AI slop, but it's not working. It made it worse. So we're all kind of seeing some downdrafts in subs and revenue and views. And it's strange because I was stable for months, right? Stable. I haven't had like a significant dip ever. And I'm having one. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign, what we have here for you. Let me take a sip of my green tea. Oh my God, this is the best green tea. 4 o'clock brand. Wow. That is amazing. All right, Leo, it is a full moon in Taurus. It happens at 13 degrees of Taurus. It will occur in the Taurus part of your heavens, which is your career, reputation, social standing, house of weddings, what people see you doing, weddings and wakes, big ceremonies in public, coronations, the thing that's very visible to the world, connected to your life. Most often it's our career. Sometimes it's our social standing. I got a divorce. I got married. Everyone notices something's going on there. All right. So this energy is very important right now because it is a beautiful fulfillment of a seed you planted back at the end of April. Some of you, it's simply about career fulfillment, career success, career actualization. And there's going to be that increase there for you. Now, it's also attended by Jupiter in the temple of the moon, and you can be very wealthy and prosperous through 12th house activities. If you make income and revenue from foreign lands, foreign people, far off shores, and digital borderless income is very that too. If you're not looking for that, then you might be going through a period of time where there's a potential for some prosperity through a legacy wealth inheritance. And this full moon could bring that to a culminating energy. This would be more like an elder or a grandparent. And you might see that, oh, this new moon fulfills that promise. And there's going to be a wedding and a wake in this case, celebration of life. So there is a way that that could play out as prosperity from an inheritance for some of you, likely with an elder of some sort. I mean, either an elder parent or grandparent. The energy of the moon is flowing to the node of fate of increase in the house of inheritances, while also the house of chunky money, a tax rebate, an insurance payout, a chunk of a sign-on bonus, or even a severance package. But whatever it is for work, then it gives you a chunk of money all at once. And the moon is also flowing to the south node in the workhouse, the hustle, the work, the working hard, the grind, the churning your own energy into money is going to decrease. There's some other source of money coming to you where you're not having so much to work it anymore. And you can rely on that added income, that passive income, that royalty check, or something else like that. And because we also see that Jupiter is in the 12th house, it possibly can look like past life karmic merit coming back and rewarding you. It's very subtle. We can't prove that, but it's like the treasure chest of abundance is parked in the back end of another time and place and wants to reignite in this lifetime somehow. Venus rules the moon in the 3rd house. Prosperity and benefits financially can come through aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, and siblings. Or with Libitina, the passing of an elderly female in your life. Why elderly? Because Saturn is in the house of the passing of inheritance monies. And we won't see this as someone, youthful, very unlikely that would be true. Okay. Now we shall go into the card draw for you and see what we have from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And Colette Baron-Reid has a prosperity section. We're going to focus on that because we have the Decan of the 6 of Pentacles, which is prosperity. We have an interesting card called Unfinished Symphony. That looks like an egg on a musical scale with somebody sitting on it. All right. So there's something unfinished here. You have a big water trine in the moksha houses 4, 8, and 12, and they all connect to legacy wealth, past lives, family of origin, very deep substrates of the chart, karma, 8th house, things to do with money that you don't directly earn. So let's take a look at what's the unfinished symphony in your prosperity story, Leo. Okay, so unfinished business, incomplete lessons, lack of closure, and need to make amends. Well, if you know that you have an ailing family member, elderly, grandparent, or parent, then you want to do that. You want to tie up those loose ends. You want to make amends. Okay. Prosperity message. Make sure you complete projects complete them before you start something new. Perhaps you've created something special that will increase your sense of abundance and will bring you opportunities and wealth. And you planted the seed for all of this back in April. However, if you don't see it through, it won't add up to anything more but clutter. So now is the time to put your nose to the grindstone, Leo, and complete the tasks that you have accumulated. Pay your bills, sign the documents. Okay. Jupiter in the 12th house of expenses, right? The temple of the moon in the 10th. So definitely pay off those debts. Take care of those taxes, 8th house. Pay your bills, sign the documents, do your filing, hand in assignments, complete your work, tie up loose ends so you can move forward with surety, knowing you are on the prosperous path and feeling refreshed and excited for your future. Now we move on. Yes, we do. We always keep moving on to the next sign. Somehow, some way, we'll actually get through all of you guys. We're talking to you, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, and we're talking about a moon in an earth sign that trines you. So your earth signs Cap, Virgo, Taurus, love this moon flowing to you from the ninth house of God. Nothing about this feels bad. This feels like the universe opens up doors of opportunity that are connected to deeper purpose, to foreign land travel. My daughter's been begging me to go to Australia. She gave me this whole spiel again. And then the same day, one of you guys from my YouTube channel emailed me that you and your daughter are really good friends with me. And if I want to come visit, you'll give me a tour. And that was my final sign. I will be going to Australia in February or March. I look forward to meeting some of you there, but my Virgo rising daughter is the impetus for that trip. Now, I'll tell you one thing. You are going to feel like golden travel opportunities abroad, full moon in the ninth house. You planted the seed last April. Golden academic opportunities. You planted the seed last April. Beautiful fulfillment and completion of matters to do with purpose and meaning in life. Also very positive if you're in a spiritual path of any kind, or you have visas, passports, and legal work that needs to be completed in some way. And this is going to help you fulfill that. Jupiter is witnessing the moon from the 11th house, and he is in the temple of the moon. And therefore, he's trying to please the moon. So you may travel to visit a friend. And that's what my daughter wants to do. Her Irish friend is living there right now. But it's also that you may find you're getting fruitful, bountiful, lucky breaks coming regarding international academic publishing, book publishing, and venues from friends who treat you like a little sister or brother, like they want to help you. Jupiter here is giving you that till next July, where friends can be allies and benefactors, bring prosperity, luck, and opportunity to you. This is one of those kinds of skies. If you have a long held wish or dream, this is very wish fulfillment, but it's a dream that's in alignment with the moon's agenda. Again, academic dreams, travel dreams to distant lands, purpose, mission-oriented dreams, international, all of that kind of stuff. Venus is the lunation lord in the second house. It definitely has the capacity to increase your financial fortunes, increase your riches over time. You'll also notice that this is a moon that is in a great deal of flow to the nodes of fate. And in this sextile to the north node, this could look like a wedding. Look, some of you could get a wedding, a proposal. If you're going to get married in a traditional setting like a synagogue, a mosque, or a church, then this could definitely look like the wedding proposal or the setting the wedding date or something in an existing relationship. And you could also look at this as the flow to the energy of the south node is supporting you as you release, surrender, and let go of things in your life that are no longer necessary or aspects of your identity you no longer need. Some of you Virgo moons might have to let go of a home or where you live, but you're going to be grateful you did. Maybe you moved to a foreign land or another country than you're currently in. Virgo sun, letting go of an aspect of career that no longer works for you. Virgo ascendant, you can let go of anything. You can let go of a way of being that you realize isn't right for you, and that's going to be supported by a moon in the house of guides, mentors, and advisors. So look to a therapist, a guide, a coach, or a mentor, if you have one, to really help open doors to surrender that also lead to all of this other positive energy. This can strengthen your existing love relationship if you're in one. If you're single, could bring you into a new love story with someone in a country other than the one you're currently living in. Or somebody from a different language, culture, or background or skin color, right? Rather than you they're in another land. Maybe they live in your country, but their parents are in Italy, they speak Italian, and they're Catholic and you're Jewish, that kind of relationship could come for you. And one thing about that kind of relationship in this kind of chart, it could prosper you somehow. I don't know, it sounds dumb. No one looks for a relationship in order to prosper, but it could do collateral benefits, maybe a spouse who supports you to follow your true purpose. A change in the wind. Okay, so that's number 12. That literally means that there's a change in the wind. You're under the energy of change. Well, does that surprise you? Doesn't surprise me, because you're going through the south node eclipses through your sign. And yes, it is destined change that is in the wind of your life. Okay, you have no steering wheel here, guys. Just trust the universe. So your prosperity message for a change in the wind, before I get to that, generally speaking, it means that there's a new storm coming that blows things around and things are not on firm ground, and the wind will blow you into new changes. Okay. Prosperity message. Okay. As you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift your direction. And this is a good thing, Virgo. Now, my Virgo rising girlfriend is a real estate agent. The industry is really sucking in Vancouver. We're having a downdraft in our real estate market, and that's not good for her. Even brokers, they get less money when house prices go down. So she might be going through a downdraft in her income, for example, right? This is a good thing. So there's nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else, or perhaps you pursued something that you realize is not your highest good. So Virgo, you might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well. Even better, actually. So trust. So trust. The house of God is the moon's house, where it is in Taurus, exalted. It's like, can you lean into the divine power, your inner, can you talk to God? Can you trust the guru, the coach, the guide that is going to tell you to rest easy? Something good is trying to happen, but it's not necessarily all a bed of roses. There's an unexpected change in the wind. Okay. But you will recalibrate on the financial front. Trust me on that. I'm not worried about you guys. And then we're going on and we're talking about Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Libra, your Venus ruled. The moon is in a temple of Venus, a house of Venus over here in your 8th house. Now, 8th house lunations can bring unexpected or more money that you don't earn, right? And it's full, so it's fruiting, like the apples are ready to pick on the tree of money you're not earning directly. So think AdSense revenue, royalty income, an investment that pays off, and dividends in the investment structures, or a stock gain and you're taking money off the table. You shareholder, right? Shared resources, chunks of money. So there's something that wants to fulfill here and wants to shine brightly. You planted the seed April 27th. And that's auspicious. Okay. And Jupiter blesses it from the career space. So very possibly this is money connected to more passive or residual income that you can generate in your career space, or a sign-on package, or a severance bonus. All of those severance package, sign-on bonus, energetics are here. Now, one thing about the 8th house, it doesn't represent money from your spouse or money from inheritance. So your spouse could come into an inheritance and you may benefit from the joint financial abundance. If that's the case, it's a father figure in the life of a spouse, and the money is coming from that direction. If it's your own inheritance money, it's also a father figure in your family of origin, but one that is elderly and ailing, and it's not a surprise at all. For the moon is flowing to the elderly Saturn and the North Node of Fate in the 6th house of karmic debts. There's often a sense here that this kind of thing, if it's your own family of origin, you feel that the money is owed to you, or maybe it was coming to you and it was retracted, or you've known for a while that the money from the passing of this elder figure, likely paternal, would lead to your ability to reduce debt in your own life, to pay off your own debts because of this gift of money from somebody in your family of origin, most likely a father figure. Now, also, you could also note that the whole idea was Jupiter flowing to your 6th house, but then this moon is something going on in your work and your career and your earnings, where the sun is, water trining, is going to increase your financial wellness. But with the moon in the 8th house, again, it's kind of like you could just get a massive commission check, or a performance review check, or a year-end Christmas bonus, that kind of thing. And you're surprised at the magnitude of it, for example. Likely that this could lead to, if you're going to get inheritance from your family of origin, a time in which the person is in a hospital setting. I don't see shock and awe here. I see more predictability, and this could take place within 6 months after the lunation. Venus is the ruler of the lunation. She's in your sign. She is with Libitina, the funeral asteroid, again, doubling down on the likelihood of your significant other or you coming into some inheritance, financial abundance over the course of 6 months after the moon. But it could also show up earlier. You might see evidence for it within 2 weeks of this moon's arrival of November 5th. It's not a bad moon as well, in this case, for quitting addictions, letting go of self-undoing, and improving your health as you dig under the hood of your family of origin and your childhood and even your past lives, for the way that you could use something to do with escapist habits and addictions to undo yourself as well. Now, what we're going to do is draw a card for you, Libras, and see what we get in Colette Baron Reid's Oracle deck. This is called the Wisdom of the Oracle. I'll try to put a link to this. I need to set up a store, but I'm so busy. Like where, I say this is a great deck and you guys can go buy it. And I get an affiliate commission off of Amazon. Someone remind me to do that. Oh my goodness. Time is of the essence. I'm teaching Sky Reader. I'm loving my students. They are amazeballs. Yang, 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 yang. This is like the Magician of the Tarot, the first card. Wow. You know what yang is, right? It's not receptive. It's active, go-getter energy, right? We grab what we want. We don't wait to receive it. It's a bee reaching for the nectar, not the flower inviting the bee in. So let's take a look at it. It's a penetrating force, right? Yang. Number one, it's Shiva to Shakti. Shakti's receptive, Shiva's masculine. The masculine principle of movement and creative activity and the power to make things happen, like the magician, and taking action. Relationship message. Circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. So if you're single, make the first move. Or if you want to propose engagement or marriage or something, take the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement toward your highest good. Oh, I'm reading the relationship message. Well, you're going to get two. I defaulted to that because of the North Node in, why did I do that? Wait, it was weird. So nothing is an accident. Okay. So there's in a relationship, take the lead. Sorry, weird. Let's go to the prosperity message. Projects, partnerships, and all matters relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase now, and you are ready to make it happen. Now is the time to stake your claim, Libra, get things done. And while you can expect to be busier than usual, the card tells you that you have all the energy and vitality you need to accomplish your goals. Abundance is waiting for you. Claim it. Oh, yes. Well, that's better. But the other one has meaning for some of you Libras, or I wouldn't have accidentally read about taking initiative in relationship matters. Telling someone you're attracted to them, asking them out on a date. Upgrading to a marriage proposal, whatever is going on. Okay, I think I can get this done. Let me just check a time check, guys. It's because I have to be somewhere. Yes, I got half an hour. I'm not going to rush you, but let's see if I can get through here in a calm and soothing manner. All right. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, energetically speaking, we have a full, beautiful, stabilizing lunation in a prosperity decan in your house of some significant marriage partnerships. This could literally mean a lovely prosperity window opening for your partner in your long-term love stories. Okay. If you're single, this moon in the 6 months that follows November 5th could open up a long distance lover relationship with someone far away. Okay. That's because Venus is in the 12th house and you might have trouble getting together. You'll have to figure it out. And if you're already with someone and they planted some seeds last April, end of April, that are now fulfilling and fruiting in their own life to bring them a greater degree of prosperity. Jupiter, looking at this moon in the 9th house, could level up the relationship for long distance foreign shore travel, some wedding activities maybe, or planning the wedding, or level up an existing relationship to something connected to a spiritual community or spiritual path together. Also, Jupiter looking at that moon can bring a significant amount of luck to your significant other from siblings in their life, or in marketing, selling, writing, and social media manner. Your significant other, communicating, marketing, teaching, and writing can be very, very prosperous for Jupiter, the 3rd house from your significant other and that moon. Jupiter wants to please the moon and bring good things. If your partner wants to go off to university or study something or college, I don't care how old they are, they're going to be lucky in that endeavor as well. Oh, you can't get into Harvard? Oh, yes, they can. They can do anything at this time. Now, Venus herself is also suggesting that your partner may be pondering some educational opportunities. From the 12th house, always activates skill space and higher education. So there's things there as well. Now, one thing about this is that the North Node of Fate in the 5th house is very increasingly increases the likelihood of a destined fertility moment, having a child, getting pregnant. Saturn represents you or your partner of an age after the age of like 29, 30 or older. You're in your 30s. If that's true, then this could open up fertility windows, and the moon in the house of the partner and Jupiter in the house of childbirth. This indicates you and your partner in the next 6 months, whether you're the male or the female, could conceive a child. And if you have children who are grown, they could conceive a child, and you could be a grandparent in the next 6 months after this moon, or hear that you will become one. And the South Node is having you release, surrender, and let go of some of your older, longer range goals and dreams that no longer feel right to you, and you're not really wanting to operate under them. Yet at the very same time, you could also be letting go of a path of work or career endeavor ruled by the sun, right? Your 10th house of career in your first house. And South Node from the 11th, it's time to let that career path go. And even you may want to go back to school and educate yourself with Jupiter's help coming off this moon too. And so there's a lot of that really nice energy there for you as well. Certainly having this moon flow to the South Node in your 11th house may definitely indicate that you're going to release or surrender a particular earnings path and begin to engage in something that inspires you, that uses your talents and gifts, that's entrepreneurial, or that is artistic and creative. You will see over 6 months that might be true. By the way, don't forget, at the end of April, the seed was planted for everything we've talked about. So we have 2 the sea. Oh my goodness. Well, we do have that 9th house foreign lands activation for you. Number 7. To the sea. Let's take a look. And the prosperity, especially in this story, because this is a moon in the house of significant love, I will add that to you because I couldn't ignore that. Key meanings are being in the flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, and natural patterns of events. And if it's for a relationship, there are points in a relationship where you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course of the relationship. Don't let go of needing to have things your own way. Your combined goals and desires are important. You can both transcend your personalities and allow this partnership to form its own identity and energy. Now is the time to relax and see where the mutual journey leads. Now for the prosperity message, because it is on a Decan for prosperity, everything seems to work out when you stop scrambling and allow the sea of opportunities to wash over you and wake you up, or your significant other to your most, or her or his most prosperous potential. To get into that flow, you need to address your beliefs about abundance and money. The true meaning of your personal currency lies in your skills and your talents and abilities, and most important, your core beliefs. Everything flows from your inner world and is affected in the outer one. Jupiter is a belief in the house of beliefs, and he's a prosperity god. So look for, like, read Think and Grow Rich, or the other book that I have here that I'm giving to somebody, Napoleon Hill's Your Belief Structures, right, around prosperity, Road to Success by Napoleon Hill. A lot of you could get benefit from that at this time, Scorpio. Everything flows from your inner world, or go Google Brian Scott Neville Goddard playlist on YouTube. Brian Scott Neville Goddard playlist. Everything flows from your inner world and is reflected in the outer one. When grateful to serve, you align your prosperity consciousness with a higher consciousness, Jupiter in the house of God, and you can expect miracles. Everything you need will come easily to you. It's really about being on purpose, aligning with purpose, trusting the divine, and everything begins to flow. All right, we're moving on to the next sign. I'm not going to give up, because giving up meaning like take a long break and come back. I'm going to keep going. I want to get off and write my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter at a coffee shop before my chiropractor appointment. All right. So October the 5th, new moon, full moon in Taurus. And this is for Sagittarius. The full moon, shining bright on a beautiful Decan of prosperity in the house of work. So Sagittarius, it's work and service, and it's health. And good things are fruiting here for you. And you planted seeds for better health, work, and prosperity, and debt relief, or debts owed to you being returned to you. These were seeds you planted last April. Now the new moon, full moon, is fulfilling those. And it's got a Jupiter sextile, which who can complain, from the house of chunky money. So prosperity from an inheritance, spousal shared resources can help you eliminate debt, can help you get more financial gain in your life. This is nice for a stock investment paying off. Again, unexpected ways that you can relieve yourself of debts. If you have a debt of any kind, with Jupiter flowing to Saturn, North Node, fourth house, inheritance money from mom or dad, elders. Saturn is the old person, not a young parent, or grandparent, and money may come to you. Prosperity may come to you that helps you with your debt elimination process and be more financially free. Now, this is up to 6 months after the moon, right? But it could be sooner in. You notice that the moon is also in a health house and it's exalted, and you want to improve your physical health and take care of health challenges. That is possible off this moon for sure. And because the moon is also ruled by Venus, you may get advice or help from friends or benefactors or people who like you, giving you tips for better health. Now, Venus, the lord of the moon, is also in the house of windfalls and pennies from heaven, and she's conjunct a funeral asteroid Libitina. And then again, we go back to the idea that there's potentially money from your life coming through your spousal shared resources, an inheritance your spouse receives that you get to partake in, your own family of origin inheritance monies as well. If you're looking for work, well, you might have to think about work in another country, a foreign land, or working from home. These can be opportunities for that kind of a job or opportunity. You're letting go of an old way of being seen by the world, South Node in your 10th house. You're releasing a way of other people saw you. Now, there's a lot of things about the 10th house. I'm widowed, I'm married, I'm divorced, I'm employed. Those identities of public recognition can be surrendered as something new wants to emerge. In the case of any kind of separation, divorce, then things seem to flow so that you could be okay with everything. And there's going to be more justice and ease here. And when you're sharing asset separation processes, things should go just as Jupiter well for you and a significant other. You'll be tying up a loose end on a karmic debt. If that is occurring, it's the closure of a relationship that had karmic energy from past lives. That's your 6/12 axis. Although with Memoria on the sun, the passing of an elder father figure, again, and your partner, your wife or husband's father figure, your father figure, leading to some money coming through the system as well. Lastly, you may want to move off of this moon. Moon is the home. She's exalted. She's flowing to the North Node, Saturn in the house of property, land, and real estate. If there's going to be a move, it'd be likely more like a rental property than a buy or sell energy, but you never know with Jupiter, it could be both. So maybe rent a property that you own to move somewhere else for a while, sell your property and then rent a property. Some of you Sagittarius will be engaging in that kind of stuff over the course of the 6 months from this lunation. Shall we draw a card from the Colette Baron-Reid deck, Wisdom of the Oracle, on the prosperity segment of this? I think we shall. Let's see what we got in your storyline of what the tip is for you, right? What not for you. Ooh, you do have Uranus destabilizing your marriage house since July. How's it been going for those of you in a relationship? Usually this means that something or someone is not for you. Number 6. Oh, 666. A clear knowing that something is being denied. Rejection is God's protection. If it's for relationship, and the reason I'm going to bring that up is a lot of the energy when I was reading it for you brought me to the concept of that. So I'll just read both relationship and prosperity. Uranus is in your relationship house, right? And it's coming into an opposition to Mercury and Mars through, the first 3 weeks of November, which is very destabilizing if you're in a relationship. Some relationships carry an innate seed of failure in them, obvious from the beginning, but the red flags escaped your observation or you refuse to acknowledge them. When a relationship is not meant to be, it's not possible to make it be, and rejection here would be a sign you're being protected by the divine. If you are the one who must reject another, remember that you do it for both of your sakes. For every pot, there is a lid. I love that expression. And this may not be the one that is the best fit for you. I've never heard that before. Prosperity message. You can strategize and project and systematize and invest all your time and energy, Sag, but sometimes your best laid plans go awry in spite of it all. Keep in mind that no effort is wasted. Fail fast and learn from defeat. Then keep going. You will eventually succeed, although perhaps not at this game at this time. Know when to fold your cards. Well, you do have some expenses going on because of Venus in your 12th house. I'm doing Sag. Why? Oh, because of Mars has been traveling through your house of expenses. Let me know how that goes. I'd love to hear if any of those particular cards made a sense for you. Mars was increasing your expenditures all the way from end of September until like November the 5th. So you might have felt a huge amount of money going out and not coming in. Okay. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. First things first. We have a moon that is full in the house of fertility, children, romance, and love. For one thing, it certainly can make you or your partner fertile and pregnant, or your children. And with the flow to the south node, destined fated grandchildren as a result. There were new seeds planted here in April, the end of April, for this fertility story. One way or the other, it may make sense. Fulfillment of things that bring you pleasure and joy and enjoyment and inspiration and creativity and entrepreneurial success are fruiting in your 5th house on a very positive decan of the 6 of Pentacles for prosperity itself. However, when it comes to romance and love, and sexuality, with Jupiter witnessing this from the temple of the moon, if you are a single Capricorn looking for a relationship, look no further than the next 6 months of November 5th onward for a very beautiful, prosperous, joyful, exalted relationship. And we have both the moon exalted and Jupiter. So this is a relationship on steroids. It is going to be very, very beautiful if there's such a thing for you. If you're already with someone, it can increase the way you interact in a more positive way, especially with affection and romance or fertility and pregnancy. Those things could come into more increase of some sort. Entrepreneurial business projects and creative projects may find lucrative contractual agreements in order for them to succeed, especially if you work in the writing, communicating, teaching, marketing, and selling, or the online world. For you Capricorn moons, this energy could change your location of where you live into a new neighborhood or new town or new city. This would happen in relationship to matters to do with spouse or children. For Capricorn ascendants, everything I said is already true. And Capricorn suns, because Venus is in the 10th house of career and reputation from your sun, then very possibly there's going to be an opening in your career in a new direction. And it may also be because you have a very lucrative contract coming your way. Jupiter represents wealth coming from a contractual agreement and an increasingly successful career path. And the sun is in the career gains itself. There's a possibility that a sibling 3 older than you can become Jupiter, like Santa Claus fairy godfather, and that 3 older than you sibling does benefit you in some way, and it feels like good fortune to you, and maybe with a tad of windfalls and pennies from heaven. So there's that blow of good energy from the sibling coming from the 3 above you. If you're in a new love story and romance is blossoming, you'll need to travel, and you may have to travel to a foreign land, North Node, in the 3rd house. This relationship may have Saturnian elements and Neptunian, dreamy, soulmate, mystical, magical, enlightenment energy, but also Saturn, besides being realistic, represents an age difference of minimum, usually 6 or 7 years above or below your age for those looking for new love or new love is blossoming. Seeds were planted for new love already, April 27th. You might already know that this is underway. The fulfillment and fruiting of that is November 5th. Add 2 weeks for evidence that it can go the distance or go further, right? But also November 5th, add 2 weeks, also add 6 months. And again, this romance can really blossom. And you might find yourself again traveling a lot, traveling to foreign lands in order to allow this relationship to blossom. A sibling 1 younger than you and 2 older than you can also be engaged in this story, and also entangling with destined changes that are underway. All said and done, the moon is exalted in the house of good fortune with an exalted Jupiter witnessing it. I can't see the downside. I find that all of these moons are good because you have a Libitina, funeral asteroid in the house of wakes and weddings. And the moon is being guided by that Venus. And it is squaring Jupiter. There may be a death or a letting go of a relationship that is already a marriage, that therefore announcing a divorce or something like that. Or there may be a sort of death or funeral rites service for a sibling, particularly one 3 older than you, that leads to some of the stories I'm seeing here as well. That's what I've got. Let's go ahead and let's grab a card for you from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. 2 more signs to go. Then I got a chiropractor ahead of me and more. Oh my God, aren't they beautiful? The whole place smell. I had sunflowers here before, and now it smells so like beautifully redolent of lilies. One of my favorite flowers. There, look, it looks like looks like I'm making let there be light. All right. I've got the observer. Now that means like witness, observe, neutrality, 49. Okay. Exalted planets are over the top. They are like Jupiter exalted in the committed love house, Venus exalted in the sex and romance house. And so one thing about you have to be cautious. I always say like an exalted planet is like overly ambitious, promises more than it can deliver, bites off more than it can chew, but also sometimes is very like on a pedestal, and so there can be a quality if this love story was to emerge, especially with the Neptune soulmate vibe connected to it, that you have to temper that with something. For those of you in a relationship already, then that's how you might want to see your relationship. You want to temper the expectations. So number 49, observer. 49 near the end of the deck. Perspective, neutral observation at a distance. I'm going to read the relationship and the prosperity message because Venus and Jupiter are in relationship houses. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees sometimes you cannot see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be an echo of unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversations. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take a higher ground and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself and in others and in the landscape. You will find things are improved sooner than you know. For prosperity, because it's the house of windfalls and good fortune, or the sun moon angle, it's an advantageous windfalls. It's an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting go of the form and timing to be dictated, and trust the timing will be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out as you had planned. Trust spirit, that's your own spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. In this case, it could be a lottery win, because of the 5th house, 11th house axes. And if it's truly going to be that, then you can celebrate that because it's really profound. Like who gave you that permission to win the lottery? The universe did, right? This is that windfall axis. Am I sharing? I can't tell. Suddenly I can't tell because I can't see myself. No, I'm not. All right. And then we're moving into the next sign. The next sign is obviously Aquarius. I am one of you. I'm a rising. Some of you are sun and moon. Welcome to the club. It is a moon that is in our angular 4th house, home, property, land, and real estate. Lunations here can move you, right? New moon here at the end of April. I moved in June because of that and an eclipse. So you could move, right? So there could be a relocation that happens in the next 6 months or even in the 2 weeks that follows the moon of November 5th. But it's an exalted moon on a prosperous degree, right? The 6 of Pentacles, Decan is there, prosperous Decan. And therefore, if you're moving, you have the financial wherewithal, almost like the charitable universe gave you money for a move. Jupiter is in the house of rental properties. There is likely a move connected to leasing and renting that vibe is there. Whether you rent your own place out or you do both, you rent your place and rent another, I don't know, but there's a vibe. Now, it doesn't mean you're moving right away, but add 6 months. And by, the end of April next year, early May, you might be seeing evidence of this move as a possibility for you. Jupiter wants to please the moon because he's in her lunar temple, right? It's Cancer. So he's like, and I also want to bring you better health. I want to bring you better prosperity in the work you do. I want to help you increase your employees and employer situation so you get more employees off of this. And it's exalted and it's good. So those are themes that are also going on. If someone owes you a debt, then Jupiter brings it to you as a repayment, and it's going to come in spades, like a huge payment coming that's indebted, debt payment, debt repayment. And with Orcus South Node in the 8th house can involve an inheritance, a passing away of somebody. And because of the sun, it could also be money accrued as a debt owed to you through a spouse, maybe through a separation agreement, maybe through the passing of a spouse, or even a former spouse because of the retrogradation of Saturn on the South Node. Now, ultimately, if you notice that the moon is talking to in a beautiful flow, and by the way, Memoria in the 10th house is a funeral service in public for a male figure. So if you're going to get some kind of money coming through that inheritance arc or spousal separation, we're looking at a masculine energy, most likely. Now, when I look at the idea that the North Node wants to increase your earnings and your money making and your worldly success in your financial situation, and you have to labor or work hard for it, there's Hercules. Jupiter is there to make that rewarding. The hard work in your earnings sector brings exalted rewards. That's Jupiter's job. And he bakes that into the moon. So if you're doing any work in your world through your home, in your home, at your home, that also increases your success. You might want to look at Venus in the 9th house and orient yourself to prosperity that connects to foreign lands, foreign people, book publishing, academic settings, and winning money or getting money through a legal court matter, especially connected to Libitina, like a death or a funeral. Now that's normal. There's probate and stuff like that. It takes time, but there may be a bit of money coming to you in that regard as well. And Venus is in dignity, and it's all about balance and harmony. So money coming to you from inheritances or spousal separation should be in balance and harmony and ease. Finally, this is the, again, the potential of a new home, why and how and where. It looks like because of that big water trine, that the new home could also connect you to the Eartha houses, and the material prosperity and career success realm gives you the opportunity somehow to move your home to somewhere different. And because the wealth is flowing, the move is happening, right? Okay. That's what I've got for us. With Venus in the 9th house, you might want to move to a foreign land, or you might want to spend a time abroad, right? Maybe rent your own property out and go off and live somewhere else. I can see me doing that myself. I don't have a permission to sublet though, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe not. There's no place like home. Say heck yes. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I like adding the Oracle deck. I'm usually quite intuitive when I pick a card, right? I'm a functional medium, psychic reader, talk to dead people, and I'm an astrologer. So number 50, no peace, no place like home. There's a moon that's exalted, flowing to Jupiter, exalted, all connected to the word home. Let's see what we got. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? We're picking the prosperity card for sure because it's on the prosperity 6 of Pentacles Decan. But the quality, the essential meaning is coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, and being comfortable in your own skin. We've had that Uranus energy in the 4th house of home since 2018, disturbing our home peace, right? We've moved a lot. We've had disruptions in the home, big changes in the home. That's been true for almost every Aquarius rising since 2018. And there's no jumbling of the energy for the first time since then. because we don't have Uranus bothering us. He's busy in the house of children. They have the disruption, or love and romance. So let's see what we get for us. Prosperity. All right, fellow Aquarians, when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, investments you make, and creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Did I get the right one? Yeah, powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, I finally reached that equilibrium. You will see divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. I'll add to the no place like home for those of you Aquarian, sun, moon, and rising, especially Aquarius moon and rising, who think a move is in your foreground coming up in the next few months. This is probably true. And you'll find a place that feels like home. I do love my apartment with the sirens blaring. I know you guys laugh at that, but I don't hear them much anymore. Like, I've tuned them out. And the beauty is I love the sunset and the sunrise light that comes into my apartment and the peekaboo view of the water. But I am in a high rise. I love my morning fireplace. It is concrete. I don't really hear my neighbors. And I'm on the 9th floor, hermit solitude, but I'm looking forward to something more spacious in the countryside somewhere. Thinking of Squamish. I used to live in Squamish. I loved Squamish. We'll see. Maybe I'll move to another country. Let's talk about Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Finally, right, guys? Your turn. Last but not least, best and always best. I think for you, the energy is quite clear. You're going to be fulfilling a lunation energy that you planted in the end of April regarding neighbors, neighborhood, cousins, nephews, nieces, and siblings. And you are fulfilling or completing a cycle, right? Harvesting it. So, for example, those relationships are coming to a fulfillment or a completing energy of some kind. Now, also, this is a house of shorter distance travel and neighbors and neighborhood. Moons are home. Very possible some of you may change your home to a new neighborhood within 6 months after the moon. You may also be quite engaged in travel for shorter distance, usually at least domestic, but more travel than usual. At the same time, this moon could bring you prosperity and abundance from an aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, or sibling in the 6 months that follows this moon. And in this particular case, it also activates the house of the sibling 3 older than you and 2 younger than you, and prosperity from both ends. It also could open up an opportunity for study or learning, some new skill or ability, and that would be a positive direction to take this moon. The moon is connected to the energy of Venus in the 8th house of chunky money and inheritances, also with an asteroid for funerals, because that is the lunation lord. And therefore, again, a possibility of money coming to you from someone in your family of origin. This looks more likely sibling money than anything else. And you could also notice that the North and South Node are being loved up by this moon. The fates are with you. Things are happening. It's expanding your own worldly success and your identity in Pisces as you do labors, Hercules, over time, Saturn, that are a dream come true. There's an energy of working to create something, to manifest something over time with work and labor. With the South Node in Virgo, in your long-term committed love house, if you're in a relationship, this can bode well for the health of your spouse. Unwell for them, okay? And it's been true since January, it's true till mid next year. If you're not spoused up already and you're wanting to find a relationship, Jupiter in the house of romantic love, witnessing the moon, while the South Node transits the 7th, brings you a karmic contractual relationship. It's destined. It comes from past lives. It's meant to be occurring in your world. It's connected to Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about a bounty, a prosperity, lusciousness, and good things in the house of romance. So for those single Pisces looking for a relationship, this is positive. This is also, if you have children, they could be pregnant under this energy and give birth to a grandchild within, or you'll know a grandchild's coming within 6 months of this moon. Jupiter flows to the ninth house of distant shores and lands or third marriages. Those may be relevant to the story of love from a distant shore or far off land, or the beginning of a relationship or an existing relationship, third marriage being more prosperous, more pleasurable, more fun, more romantic, or more fertile. If you're entrepreneurial, creative, and artistic, those energies in writing, communicating, marketing, selling, and social media land love you up, and a book publishing deal wouldn't be outside the bounds of possibility. Or your prosperity will increase through social media activities, including marketing, writing, teaching, scrying, divining, and oracle work, where you're telling people about things from an intuitive capacity, and an increase of your prosperity. And writing and book publishing are also extremely auspicious in the next 6 months, especially if you're creative, artistic, or entrepreneurial. And finally, is there anything else to say? No, I think I've got it. A sibling one younger than you could be experiencing a really good time in their own prosperity, but an older sibling as well. 3 older and 2 older that are mixed up in this mess, or this positive energy of the mystic rectangle. We're going to go ahead, and Jupiter's the lord of your sign, bountying you up in the house of good fortune. And Saturn rules the house of windfalls with the north node of increase. So you are one of the signs that could have a financial windfall through a lucky break, particularly through gaming speculation, but something even like an inheritance can feel like a windfall. And you might even under darker circumstances, for example, some of you, they have money coming in ways that you don't prefer, like say a passing of a spouse. I know this is real astrology in the next 6 months. Well, you could also receive financial bounty. Say they had a life insurance policy or something like that. Let's draw a card from the wisdom of the oracle. Someone said to me that they were happy that I gave them warning about the spousal passing or somebody passing in their life. And I'm going to keep that to be true. Sometimes it's good to know when things could happen. Or was their father? The tribe. Now, that kind of makes sense because your third house is activated. And that's like the milieu in which you hang out. It can be your kinfolk, right? Because we used to live in kindred tribal circles, like aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, and siblings all hanging out together in the village. Today, we have cultural tribes, social tribes, neighbor tribes, online tribes. But that's a key piece for you here, the concept of tribe. And I really want you to consider that. Who is your tribe? Because this is a lunation in the third house. It's asking you to consider your affiliations of belonging. Number 8. Oh my God, I can smell those lilies just drifting at me. They're amazing. Community, belonging, being seen, understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. That is where the moon is sitting. Now, for your message on prosperity, whenever you're in a community of like-minded others, there's powerful opportunity to reap great abundance. It's essential to ask, what can I contribute rather than what can I get from this? Figure out a need and look to fill it. Something meaningful will manifest, even if what manifests is small. Doors of opportunity will swing open wider. Don't try to be all things to all people. Choose your role, be true to it, serve from a sense of authenticity. There's no greater feeling of accomplishment than knowing you have purpose. South Node in the relationship house, Jupiter in the romance. Let's add relationship message for you guys. There are no points in a relationship when you have to decide to go with the flow. There are points in a relationship where you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course that you share with another. Can you let go of the need to have things your way and allow the relationship itself, your combined goals and desires, to steer the ship? Can you transcend your personalities and allow the partnership? Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. I apologize. Pat, I'm not going to fix it. You might need to hear something. I started to read the one before, number 7. I'm wondering about that. I just went backwards instead of forwards. The first part was right, but then the rest of it wasn't. prosperity message, whenever you're in a community, that was right too. That was right too. What was wrong was relationship. I backed up 2 pages. Your relationship message, Pisces. You're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, the tribe, right? And perhaps you also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other person follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another, accepting the truth that everyone has flaws is a part of that dance. You are being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat in relationship. You are in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. So I usually do an outro, but this video was extraordinarily long. If you didn't listen, I'll tell you a great synchronicity story. I brought it up earlier. My daughter's begging me to go to Australia. She's a Virgo rising. It shows up in the chart reading today. 6 months from now, she should be in a foreign land. Her girlfriend moved there from Ireland, who lives there now. And she's been like nagging me. And every time she says, let's go, I always push it away because I'm so busy. I think Australia is so far away. It's expensive, whatever. So maybe February, March, I'm going to go, because the day she texted me with another, well, hadn't asked me about it in like weeks. Are we going to go to Australia, Mom? Are we going to go to Australia? She's 26. It's a mom-daughter trip as well. And I'm like, I'm kind of giving her the like 2 thumbs down. Like, I'm really, really busy. I don't think so. I've got a lot of work. My YouTube revenue is down last month. I don't know. It's going to be expensive. I'm doing the 100 excuses to Sunday why it's not a good idea. And then literally half an hour later, I open up my business email box and somebody is emailed me from my YouTube channel whose daughter and her are total fiends for the channel and live in Australia, and said, I heard your daughter had asked you to go to Australia. And, and that was videos ago. And she's like, I just want you to know that I would love to give you a tour and please come and all of that. And that was a sign. So pay attention to your signs. Mercury will be going retrograde soon on the 10th of November. And during that retrograde cycle at 6 degrees Sag, and add 3 weeks, he's going to be doing miracles in our lives because he's powerfully close to Earth. He's going to give us all the signs and synchronicities we need. Okay. I told you guys that recently, and I have a free Mercury webinar, Kazemi, check it below, come join me, limited spots. But I also talked to you guys about my mother and balloons. Like my mother died, when I was 39, she was hit by a car. But every time she gives me symbols that she's around me after she died, I literally have symbols of balloons, because she used to sing a song to me when I was a kid, floating high, floating by, floating high, floating by. Red, purple, and yellow, each balloon will be soon floating high in the sky. What a weird song. But I think it's about literally lifting off from our bodies and the tether of the earth, if you ask me. And after she died, I was followed by helium balloons everywhere. And I knew it was my mom. It was my signal for her in that first year. And every now and then she shows up as a helium balloon or a balloon floating by my walking. I was walking the other day. And I just told you guys on YouTube, that's my mom's symbol. The veil is thin. We're coming to Halloween. She died October 2nd. I'm in that void of near the month she died. And I'm walking down the street. You cannot make this shit up. And I see a blue object underneath the wheel of a car that's parked. My mother died under the wheels of a truck. Okay. She was run over by a car. And I literally looked at it and said, is that a balloon? Because I couldn't tell if it was maybe someone's soccer ball. And I went down, I pulled it out, and it was a balloon, a blue balloon under the wheels of a car. She made me like, this is 2 blocks from my house. I'm not going to let Lori not get the message, and I'm smiling because I've long healed that, and dead people aren't gone. They're just not in a body. But what's interesting is I talked to dead people living for a while, is that she hasn't reincarnated yet. I know she's waiting for my son or my daughter to have a baby. I know she wants to come back. I've tuned into that. But there's 2 synchronicity stories. Pay attention, especially November 10th at 3 weeks, Mercury retrograde. Come to my free webinar. I'd love to see you guys there. It's a guided meditation and more. We're going to talk about it. Don't forget to check out Otter Spirit as well. Love these guys. Becca, Otter Spirit Jewelry, beautiful. This is their Halloween trio. And you get 20% off if you want to just buy this particular trio. But if you don't, not to worry about it. Anything you buy is 30% off over $90. And I don't get kickback from that. I just get the jewelry to share with you. And I'm a jewelry lover. So I'm loaded with Otter Spirit. Okay, take a great deep breath in life. Enjoy this moon. Like and subscribe. Share my video. Please help the channel grow. I do appreciate it. And buy my bundle 2026 for $44, 12 signs That's like 24 hours plus of video content. Ciao, everyone.